Radio Live. I am Raleigh Culp, as usual, here with Bob Gilpatrick. How you doing, Bobo?
Good, Raleigh. How are you?
I'm doing great, man. I'm doing really good. I actually am glad that we survived the hurricane, right? We had a little hurricane come through. It wasn't quite so bad for us here in St. Pete/Tampa Bay, but it could have been bad. We did get a lot of flooding in certain areas, but we made it. So thanks for all the people who wished us well. I wanted to say thank you to those. We got some emails that said, stay safe and protect the boomer boost. So we did. But yeah, what are we talking about today, Bob?
Well, this is a great time to start talking about our immune systems.
Yes, it is.
Because we already have started hearing about what might happen with C19. And there's a variant that's happening. And we all need to make sure that this time around, we're really well prepared. We take all of the knowledge we have about having our immune system be in great shape so that as this flu season comes about, which is basically starting right about now, that we're as strong as we possibly can be in order to do well during this time.
Yeah, for those who might have kids, they're going back to school right now. Yeah. And actually, my daughter was telling me about a lot of the kids in the class ended up getting sick from being re-exposed to each other after being away from so long for the summer. Yeah. And so that's another thing. If you have kids or grandkids, a lot of grandkids want to come and visit, especially around this time of year. You might be getting exposed to things you wouldn't naturally or have, for any reason, been in contact with. So that's another reason another thing, I would say a factor that accelerates some of this flu and cold season around this time of year. Plus you start going indoors,
Yeah. So what we'll talk about today, Raleigh, is we're going to talk about nutrition and which nutrients are best for you. We're also going to talk about probiotics.
Yep.
We're going to talk about a particular product called lignans, which we'll go into. We're also going to talk about a compound called superoxide dismutase and its effect on the immune system. We're also going to talk about hydration, how important that is, the importance of getting toxins out of your body. We're also going to talk about the importance of sleep, your lymph system, exercise, and managing stress.
Wow, we got a full docket on the show today. Yes, it's very, very serious. Immune health is because, just like most things, as you get older, right, you stop creating the things that help you rebuild and repair and at the same time defend yourself, right? So we want to talk about some natural ways to increase that. And many people don't know a lot of the times how deficient they are in nutrition, which is, I think, the first thing that we wanted to talk about is nutrients that help the immune system.
Yes. So during the first onset of C19 in 2020 and going forward, there are a lot of studies done measuring the different blood levels of certain bioactive compounds and its relation to how well people did recovering or dealing with C19. And we found out that of all of the things, vitamin D was probably the most important. And so vitamin D is a very versatile bioactive compound. You make it when you're exposed to the sunlight. Most people are not exposed to sunlight anymore these days. And so we have to take it in by mouth in pill form.
Especially during the season where you start going inside, it gets cooler. Yep. The little bit of sun that you would be exposed to, you're hiding from the cold.
And even in a place like Florida, there's only certain months out of the year when you can get enough sunlight. So people need to watch their blood level of vitamin D, try to keep it at around 70. And if you do, you will not be one of those people that struggles if you get an infection because of your low level of vitamin D. The other ones are vitamins that help with your inflammation, keep your inflammation down. These are what we call the ACE vitamins. Vitamin A, C, and E act as antioxidants. And this is really important because when people get sick, their body tends to get inflamed. Their biomarker of inflammation, called C-reactive protein, goes way up when you have an infection.
Mm.
So you want to try to keep your inflammation as low as you can, even if you do get an infection. So compounds like vitamin A, C, and E are really important. There's another one which we have in our Boomer Boost product. It's called trimethylglycine.
Yep.
Very important. And also glutathione is in the Boomer Boost as well.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Now, another very powerful antioxidant called superoxide dismutase is in our Gladiator barley product and our heirloom barley product. This helps keep your inflammation down, but it has a second benefit where it tends to cleanse your small intestine.
Mm-hmm.
And a big part of your immune system's in your small intestine. You have on the inside lining, you have these little patches called Peyer's patches, and they are a line of defense. They identify foreign invaders and isolate them and kill them before they get a chance to get into your bloodstream. But unfortunately, as you age, your body develops a plaque on the inside of your small intestines, which used to be mucus, naturally occurring mucus, will turn to plaque, and it'll coat those Peyer's patches as well as your villi. And this is very important because you don't want the Peyer's patches coated over with plaque. They can't function. And you certainly don't want your villi coated over with plaque because the previous nutrients we referred to, the ACE vitamins, etc., have to be absorbed by those little villi that are like hairs in your small intestines that will absorb the nutrients that will keep you healthy. But if you're getting older, that mucus turns to plaque, and now you can't absorb those nutrients that help boost your immune system. Mm-hmm. So you want to make sure you keep your intestines cleansed with the compound that's in our barley products. It's called SOD. These things right there will give you a huge advantage if you can keep your intestines cleansed and take in the antioxidants.
Right. So you're talking about vitamin D3, the ACE vitamins, trimethylglycine, glutathione, and then with the barley is the SOD. That's going to help reduce inflammation, cleanse villi and the Peyer's patches. So then that way you can actually absorb the nutrients that you're intaking and fight foreign infection in the small intestine. Okay, so
you got it.
You got
it. The other, the other thing is that glutathione is not only an antioxidant, but it also is in abundance in your lungs, and it keeps the inflammation down in your lungs. And so if people are deplete in glutathione, they're going to be very susceptible to respiratory infections that go along with exposure to things like the flu and C19.
Okay.
So that's really important to know about.
That's kind of cool because, you think about all the different things that. Sorry about that. Something's going on with the monitor here. Bear with me a second. I don't know what is going on. Oh, well, we're still going.
Well, that's good.
Okay, sorry about that.
We're still going.
The monitor went black, so I thought the video ended, but it didn't.
Cool.
So let's keep going.
Sorry. Let's keep going with hydration.
Yes, hydration. Now, one of the things that I was really bad at was staying hydrated. I used to work outside a lot. And when you are out in the Florida sun and you are not drinking, you will quickly be brought to your knees by dehydration. Like it happened to me multiple times. So I cannot stress from my own personal experience with it, how important staying hydrated is and the warning signs that you're getting dehydrated. If your lips are dry, if you feel thirsty, you need to drink water. Very important.
Yep, absolutely. And you want to make sure that you drink water throughout the day, but particularly in the morning when you wake up, because your body gets dehydrated during the nighttime as you're sleeping. And whether you know it or not, your body sweats and evaporates that sweat very quickly. Mm-hmm. And so you want to try to drink at least 20 ounces of water first thing in the morning when you wake up.
Yeah.
Right? There's also research that shows that if you do that, and you're a person that needs to release weight, you will do it at about a pound a month if you don't do anything else except drink extra water in the morning.
Yeah, one of the things that I actually do on purpose is before I go to bed, I'll grab a bottle of water. I'll take a couple sips, set it there. And then when I wake up in the morning, it's right there, and then I'll grab it and I'll actually drink it on my way to the bathroom or whatever. And then that way I can get my water in before I like to drink coffee, and I drink my Boomer Boost and my barley. But I like to have that extra water beforehand. So then, the bodily functions will be good.
Yeah. One of the things I do probably is I'll take my barley and Boomer Boost first thing in the morning. And what I do is I'll fill a glass up with water or a blender bottle, and I'll drink half of it. And what happens is a lot of it settles to the bottom.
Right. Yep.
So I keep adding water.
Mm-hmm.
So I just add more water, shake it up, drink it. In this way, you're never drinking a very thick portion of it. If you keep adding water to it, you're always drinking a fluid, so to speak.
Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with extra water.
And it's easier to drink, and you get the extra water.
Gotcha.
So there's another thing, just in general, probably toxicity has a very profound negative effect on our immune system. And one of the biggest sources of toxicity is mold.
Mm-hmm.
So there's more mold on this planet than any other living thing. And we live on a mold planet. Some of it is good, some of it is not so good. And if your body gets an over growth of mold that's toxic, it's very hard for your immune system to function properly because it's spending a lot of time trying to mitigate the effects of the mold. So once again, our gladiator barley and heirloom barley is excellent at getting that mold out of your body.
Yeah.
Including black mold that can be extremely detrimental, can make you very, very sick if you get infected with black mold. Mm-hmm. The barley will get that black mold out of your body. It'll actually come out through your skin. You'll notice it. If you're a person that has a black mold infection, you start taking the barley, about 6 weeks in, it'll start to come out through the skin on your arms, the skin on your back, maybe even your forehead, back of your neck, and you'll notice that anything white that you're wearing will start to get a black stain on it. We had one person who's a podcaster that we go on his podcast all the time.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, I'll be on it later this afternoon. He was telling us he had a white band on the inside of his hat, and when he started taking the barley, that white band was turning very dark.
Yep.
And it was mold coming out, black mold coming out through his forehead.
Mm-hmm.
And so this is a good thing, because if you can get that mold out of your body, your immune system automatically will be more efficient and strong because it no longer has to tend with that mold.
Right. And, it's important, especially areas that are naturally more moist. And honestly, just in Florida, we had a lot of flooding. So homes down here flood very, frequently in those areas. And obviously you want to get rid of any of the drywall or anything that came in contact with the water. But sometimes it doesn't always happen. Or sometimes people maybe don't realize the amount of mold, and then they're living with this.
Yep.
And so if you feel like if you start taking the barley and you start getting black mold release, you might want to check the quality of the air in your home, because a lot of the times people don't really realize it's in there.
Yeah, absolutely. So another really big factor probably is the quality of your sleep.
Mm-hmm.
Your immune system is dependent on sleep. So you have rest, recovery, and detoxification during your sleep period.
Mm-hmm.
So as people get older, they make less melatonin as they age, which is your hormone of your sleeping state that signals detoxification to begin to happen.
Mm-hmm.
So it's good to have a sleep aid pill that has melatonin, especially as you're older.
Yeah, our Goodnight formula works really well for sleep issues. We've had a lot of people use it. And even in there, we have some vitamin D. There's some vitamin D in there because it actually performs another process. But that's how important vitamin D is for these type of things. It's a multifunctional thing. And having enough of it is very important, because if you don't have enough vitamin D, you won't express the things accurately. that your body needs.
Exactly. So circulation is another aspect here.
Right.
Not only the circulation of your blood, but also your lymph. So the circulation of your blood is important because we're talking about cleansing your intestines so you can absorb your nutrients, taking in the right nutrients by mouth, and getting them absorbed into the bloodstream. But now your circulatory system has to be functioning well in order to deliver those nutrients to the cells where all of the functions occur. So, um, so we have an entire podcast on circulation that we did. It's a big topic. It's a long subject matter.
Yes.
But in general, to have good circulation, you need to understand that there are certain nutrients that help with circulation. And arginine is one of the main ones, which is in our Boomer Boost product.
Correct.
Which helps to create nitric oxide, which helps to expand your capillaries, that allows for the nutrients to get through. The other is proper innervation and proper muscle contraction. So your nervous system needs to be healthy. How do you get your nervous system to be healthy? Feed it the right nutrients.
Right. Yeah, we actually have a whole podcast on how to increase circulation at boomerboost.com. We did a really important show because one of the things, just a quick aside about the circulation is, yes, circulation is important for many things. One of the main things is oxygen and nutrient delivery.
Yeah.
Right. And so if you don't have proper nutrients and your nutrition is low, your circulation might be okay, but you're not being able to distribute the right nutrients to the body that it needs to repair or protect itself from a pathogen or a disease. Right. So that's how these things kind of work together as a system in these different ways.
You need to have healthy nerve cells, and you need to have proper muscle strength because the contracting muscles help move the blood, and as well as the firing of the nerves helps to move the blood. And the last part to that is there is electromagnetic fields that the sun and the core of the earth are giving off, that our body receives these photons through our photoreceptors will absorb those photons, convert them into chemical energy, but those photons directly also affect the expansion of your capillaries. So what we encourage people to do is to get a special device that is a circulation mat that you can lie on. As you age, your photoreceptors don't work as well, so your circulation drops off. But this mat mimics the pulses from the core of the earth and increases your circulation back up to what it was like when you were younger.
Okay. Yeah. We actually, there's a video on our YouTube about that. If you check it out, just type in the word PEMF, it stands for pulsed electromagnetic fields, and you'll be able to find a video that explains not only the idea of it, but the product we're talking about. It's pretty cool.
Yes. Now, equal to the volume of your blood, you also have another fluid called lymph, which is a clear fluid, so you can't see it the way that you can see the veins on your hands. You also have lymph vessels that are near the surface of the skin, but you can't see them because they're translucent. But a big part of what lymph does is to detoxify your body and to kill pathogens. So you want to make sure that your lymph system is moving properly. If you get plugged lymph nodes, especially if you get sick, a lot of times you'll go to the doctor will check your lymph nodes. He can tell if your lymph nodes are getting plugged, that might be indicative of an infection. So you want to know how to do what's called manual lymphatic drainage. And your lymph system does not have its own pump. So our blood has a heart to help pump.
Right.
The lymph system does not have that. And what it is it has a series of valves. And these valves will be opened up when blood plasma has been purposefully leaked into the interstitial fluid, and then it gets absorbed by the lymph through these series of valves. So when you get a certain pressure of blood plasma, it enters the lymph vessel, the plasma moves along, it gets detoxified by the lymph system, and then it gets dumped back into your blood, right, via the thoracic duct.
Mm-hmm.
And so you can learn to massage your lymph nodes and your lymph vessels in a very specific way that will allow you to keep your lymph system flowing properly. And you can put in our search bar, put in manual lymphatic drainage. You'll be able to find a podcast/video.
Mm-hmm.
There's a podcast and a separate video
Mm-hmm.
that teaches you how to do this. It takes about 20 minutes to learn, and then you have it. You can do it for yourself. You can do it for your loved ones. They can do it for you. Your whole family should learn to do it. It also helps with sleep.
Yes.
It's very relaxing. If you have a child that needs to fall asleep, all right, normally a parent would maybe rub the child's back
Mm-hmm.
like they're doing havening. But if you know how to massage their lymph nodes, they'll fall asleep much faster. They'll sleep much more deeply.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
So excellent share care technique to learn how to do lymph drainage for your family.
Right. Yeah. What Bob's talking about is if you go to boomerboost.com, up at the top, it says podcasts and blogs. In there is a section that you can find self-care, as well as if you go to the search bar and just type in, like you said, either lymph drainage or manual lymph drainage, it'll bring all the topics up that have to do with that. So knowing how to do lymph drainage is actually pretty important because people get things like lymphodemas and things like that they might not necessarily know is there, that cause sluggishness and tiredness and there's lots of other side effects of having a sluggish lymph system. So definitely know that. It's another tool, like we talked about, another tool you can use to help keep the immune system healthy. We got to be on our guard.
Raleigh, before we move on to exercise and stress, which will be the last two things, let's talk about lignans.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, so I was going to bring it up. I said, we have some really unique things. Lignans is one of them that many people haven't heard of, but have really, really profound benefits for your immune health, your sexual health as well. It's got a very, very powerful antioxidant in it that I'll have Bob talk about. But it's also lignans, right? What are they? There's 27 of them.
Yep.
Where do they come from?
Right. So lignans are what are called polyphenols, which are bioactive compounds that are in plants.
Mm-hmm.
In this case, the lignans are most highly concentrated in the wax that's on the outside of flax seeds.
Mm-hmm.
So a seed has a coating, and what our formulators do for us is they take these flax seeds and they tumble them in a mechanical tumbler, and it knocks the wax off. And then they're able to stabilize the nutrients that are in that wax and then grind it up into a fine powder and send it to us in jars.
That sounds like a lot of work.
It's a lot of work, but when you get it, a small amount, a small scoop, put into a glass of water, gives you a tremendous benefit for your immune system.
Mm-hmm.
And it does a couple of different things. One is it actually will kill bacteria and viruses, but it also boosts up your immune system so your immune system can function to kill those viruses and bacteria as well. Now, lignans have to be converted from plant lignans to mammalian lignans in your gut with the help of good bacteria. And so it's always good to take your Flaxol lignans with a probiotic.
Right.
That will make it work.
One of the things that's really important for converting not only, things like lignans to human lignans, but things like protein is your gut, right? Yeah. And your gut health, the balance of good and bad bacteria is really important. One of the things that most people focus on with probiotics is the colony forming units. I need to have 4 billion colony forming units. But what they really don't realize is you could have all these colony forming units, but if they don't have food in order to stay alive and be healthy and
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 interact with the fiber, ferment the fiber, create new molecules called metabolites that are part of all your metabolic
you
pathways.
took
It's very
you took my word. I was just
so
getting to that. Go ahead, tell them
very
about metabolites.
very important to understand that it's not just, hey, take this pill with a bunch of good bacteria. It also has to function in the presence of other nutrients. And
Mm-hmm.
so, what we've done with our probiotics to make sure that people have these metabolites, which is one of the main end results of this metabolism, is what we do is we make those metabolites for you. So, we have a vat where we put good bacteria, we put sprouted barley powder along with a mineral water,
Mm-hmm.
and we ferment it for 90 days, and it creates those metabolites in the vat.
Like it would do in your belly.
Yeah, exactly. And then we dry that out, stabilize the nutrients, put it into a fine powder, just like the lignans, comes in a separate jar. But you can take the two of those together, tremendous boost for your immune system. You're dealing now with technology and strategy that no other company has available.
Right.
This is advanced scientific intervention for you that is going to help boost your immune system better than anything.
What I like to say is that these are product combinations with a purpose, right? We're not just trying to sell you some of this and some of this and some of that. We look at what the products that we have that are very unique can do and how they can actually be paired together to not just work together, but actually amplify the way each thing works. So with these two particular products, we realized as we were like reading the benefits and going over them, lignans, great for the immune system. Probiotics are necessary for lignans and they help with the immune system. And just like before, we talked about the nutrients that you need. One of the most important is vitamin C. So we put these all together in what we like to call the immune defense bundle. And that's where you get a month's supply of the lignans, which is a powder, a month's supply of the probiotics, which is a powder. So you can take those two together and you get a month's supply of vitamin C. And so when you take these three things together, it's not just 1 + 1 + 1 = 3. It's like 1 + 1 + 1 = 6. They kind of work together to amplify the benefits of each of them, as well as build your immune system. So what we did is because we figured with C19 and everything, and people getting sick and flu season coming, we decided let's talk about the immune defense bundle, why it works so well together. And we also took $28 off the price. So right now you can get those products for $28 less than it normally runs in the bundle. Nice. So check that out. It'll really help build your immune health and get it prepared for the flu season.
Probably the last two parts here, exercise.
Yes.
Very important. Lots of studies that show people's immune systems are stronger if they do a combination of resistance exercise and aerobic exercise. Mm-hmm. So don't forget about that. And then last but not least is the issue of stress. Nothing will make you sick faster than constant stress. Right? So people get stressed from outside stimuli, from their environment, and also from ruminations about traumatic events in their life. So it's a couple of extremely effective techniques that we won't go into all the details here today, but you can use the emotional freedom technique, mm-hmm. right? And you can also use a technique called havening. Both techniques work for helping resolve past traumas that you might consider thinking about that are going to create the whole stress reaction, too much cortisol, etc., which depresses your immune system.
Right.
But the one particular thing that gets people down, especially during a season where the weather starts to get colder and also there are more illnesses. Mm-hmm. And this can create a depression effect. Some of it is from seasonal affective disorder, mm-hmm. where your body's getting less light, so you might start to feel depressed.
Yeah, that comes with the time changes.
Yeah,
a lot.
And then just in general, The colder weather makes people feel depressed
Mm.
if they don't have the ability to come to Florida. But you also have the holidays coming, and Thanksgiving and the holidays in December can also create a lot of stress. So, one of the things, Raleigh, that happens during this time is people will start to focus more on the negative.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, the weather's getting cold. Oh, the flu season's coming. Oh my goodness, I gotta go home for Thanksgiving,
I got to deal with the family
and I
for
gotta deal with the
Thanksgiving.
family. So this is what is referred to by Albert Ellis, a famous psychologist, as awfulizing.
Right.
Right.
We
So
talk about that.
catch yourself, and say, listen, this fall, this winter, I am going to change, and I'm no longer going to be an awfulizer. And this is where the emotional freedom technique becomes very handy,
Mm-hmm.
right? So this is also called tapping.
Yep.
You can watch our videos on it. You're basically going to tap on your fingertips, and for this awfulizing thing, you're going to go like this. You're going to repeat a phrase while you're tapping on your fingertips and your karate chop point. And you're going to say something like this: even though up until now I thought I had to continue to be an awfulizer every fall and winter, I completely love and accept myself anyway. And I'm so grateful now that I realize this fall and winter and going forward, I can maintain a positive attitude. I can catch myself if I'm awfulizing and switch my state. And I can feel it in complete peace about the whole thing. When you're finished, cross your hands over your heart and breathe in and out while you drop your chin down and your hands down. You feel peaceful. Right? This will help to create a pattern interrupt on a tendency to be an awfulizer. You can help other people that might be part of your life who are awfulizers, and you can say, hey, this fall and winter and forevermore, let's let's be positive together. Would you like me to show you how to do some tapping? It's really great for breaking your state. If you catch yourself awfulizing, it can put you back into a positive state. So what happens, Raleigh, is you go from starting to awfulize to catching yourself and tapping. You stop the whole cascade of cortisol, which is going to make you sick, and instead your adrenals change and they don't secrete excessive cortisol. And the more you do it, the more you have a situation where you stop doing it altogether and you do yourself a favor. You reduce your cortisol. You're going to release weight if you're overweight. Okay, your immune system is going to function better. You'll have less anxiety, less depression, and incredible technique for making sure that this coming flu season does not get you, right? If you're under stress, even if you do all the other things we talked about,
Yep.
if you're under stress and you don't have a technique, havening, tapping, to help you get through, you're probably going to get sick anyway. So do yourself a favor, learn these techniques. There's a plethora of information about this on our website. There's probably more information about havening and tapping than any other thing that we have information on. And you can always call us.
Yep.
If you endeavor to secure a command of these techniques for yourself and your family, and you get stuck, you're not sure about something, you can give us a call and we'll help you through it.
Absolutely. One of the things, you kind of said it towards the end, but yeah, you could take all the best nutrition in the world, take care of yourself as best as you can, spend tons of money on great food, make sure you're feeling great. But if you're not, if you're stressed, if you're not able to stay, positive and without stress, it's going to affect you no matter what. We've had plenty of people who we've talked to that, hey, I've been taking the products for a while. I still don't feel very good. And then you start talking to them about certain things, aspects of their life and everything. And you realize, wow, this person has a problem with stress. And so that's when these tools like tapping and havening and even head circles is another good one. They can give you, like Bob said, a pattern interrupt that kind of gets you out of that state of mind and refocuses you into something more positive, and then gets you on the right path. Because a lot of the times it's really easy to get off path, especially with negative thoughts and stress. So another great tool.
Yep. People want to get their immune defense bundle, give us a call on our 800 number.
Yes, give us a call right now. Like I said, it's $28 off. So you get all 3 products. You get the lignans we were talking about, which is a powdered product, the probiotics, which is a powdered product. You can mix them together, take them all in one drink, and then the vitamin C, and that'll help boost your immune defenses for the flu season, and you get a great price on it. Yeah, you could either give us a call, 1-800-861-4609, or go to our website, is boomerboost.com. It'll actually really help to, if you guys have questions, if you're not sure exactly, if this is something that would help you, give us a buzz. We're always here to help, and we're happy to talk to you.
Very well. Thanks, Raleigh.
Yes.
That was great.
Absolutely.
We'll sign off now. And thank you, everyone, for watching or just plain listening if you're not watching to Live Forever Young Radio Live. And we'll see you all on the next show.